Well, I think the first thing which is quite clear is that we have to recognize that water is a human right, and I would say it's one of the most fundamental human rights that we have. We need the water for our survival, we need it for our basic hygiene, we need it for cooking. Now, interesting enough, this human rights accounts for about 1.5 to maximum 2.5% of all the fresh water that we are withdrawing. It is clearly a responsibility of governments to assure that everybody, and I say everybody on this world, not just the privileged people who are living in cities, but also the underprivileged who are living in rural areas, have access to this water. But the remaining now, 97.5, 98.5 of the water that we are withdrawing for human consumption, which we are needing for energy production, which we are needing above all, of course, for farming, but we need it also for filling up our swimming pools, we need it for example, watering our golf courses. Well, I think it's for that water that we have to find an economic incentive in order to use it in a better way. I think that's the important part, because only if we manage this 98% of water in a more responsible manner, we will have the water available in order to fulfill our commitment of the human rights. Yeah, I think Nestle has, for more than 150 years, a long experience in collaboration. Initially, and for many, many years, it was with milk farmers. As a matter of fact, we brought the idea about the milk district into Latin America back in 1920. We had our first factories in Africa and around 1920 also. So we have a long experience in this. Recently, over the last 10 years, we have extended this into the area of coffee farming or cocoa farming and things like this. I think what we have learned is that, first of all, you have to have a sound knowledge base if you want to be recognized by those farmers as somebody who brings something valuable. So in our case, having specialists, we have more than 1,500 specialists in agriculture who can help the farmers in order to improve the yield, for example, or to learn how to manage much better the water, or bringing new technologies in order to upgrade the quality of their products, which allow then afterwards us to pay a higher price. I think it is all based upon a sound knowledge base, an establishment of trust with those suppliers or with your partners that you have, and then afterwards a very close relationship and continuous helping to improve your suppliers. Well, you know, it's quite interesting. I think in the beginning, you do not really see a lot of limits. I mean, in principle, every multi-stakeholder initiative could be successful. I think experience has shown that if you really want to have long-term sustainable success, it's not as easy as it looks in the beginning. So first of all, I think you have to choose once more something where you're knowledgeable, where you can bring something to the party. You will need, there's no doubt about it, government involvement. Governments are responsible and have to assume this responsibility in order to build up the frame within which you want to help one initiative that you have. And then you will be looking certainly for NGOs who have also proven that in their specific field they have something to bring to the party. So overall, I would say, I think by first of all knowing where you have something to bring, secondly, to have found and convinced the partners, multi-stakeholders that you're going to working with, and certainly to engage on a long-term journey. I do not believe that short-term initiatives, they are like piecemealing around things. They make you feel good. But if an initiative 18 months or 2 years later is gone from the table, I don't think you have achieved anything. Any initiative in this has to have a time frame 5 to 10 years in order to become really effective.